What's up, guys? Welcome to B Sports Picks. So we crushed the books yesterday. 8 straight wins, 0 losses. That's an 8-0 record, a straight sweep yesterday for the VIP. I also gave away one free pick in yesterday's video. If you don't believe me, go check that out. I'm going to show you all the receipts very quickly. Then I'm going to go right into one very strong play that I like in the NBA. There's one very little minor situation that I don't like. It's a trend that I don't like. But the injuries on that same game, it kind of negates that trend. So I'm going to explain that. I'm going to give you a very strong play in the NBA. Overall, for January, it was an extremely good month for the free picks. So stay tuned for that. Also, sometimes I can't make a video. Make sure you click on the link in the description and then click on where it says free picks. That way you don't miss out on all the free winners that I've been throwing out for free. All right, so very quickly, like I mentioned, it was an 8-0 sweep. I'm going to show you all the receipts for that very quickly. Perfect day in the VIP. And then we're 8-2 on the last 10 plays that I've shared right in this YouTube channel. So this is the one I shared yesterday. I said go with the under 247 on the Heat and the Bulls. And then I also said take the Rockets. So the Rockets was actually a very large spread. I didn't think they were going to cover the spread, but I kind of knew that they were going to win the game. It ended up becoming very close towards the end of the game, but they ended up pulling it off. So that came through for us. I gave this one away for free yesterday. And then I also took the Heat and the Bulls just straight up on the under 243. They came through for us. They hit right at 243. So that was luck was on our side yesterday for that. One more point and that would have killed that one. And then again, I'm not going to speak onto every single one of these, but check this out. This was for NHL. This was for NHL. These were for shots on goal. This was for shots on goal. And then the 76ers, I did mention the 76ers. So I took them on the money line with some shots on goal right here. Then I also like the Pistons. So I took the Pistons and the 76ers on a money line right there. And then I also took a UFC fight, which I threw out in the VIP as well. So as you saw right there, it's an 8-0 day, perfect day yesterday in the VIP. So if you want to take advantage of that, go to the link in the description. I have a 1 day pass, 1 week pass, 1 month pass. And if you want the rest of 2026, I actually put that out there this morning. So I already had a person take advantage. There's 4 more slots. So I opened it back up for 5 more people. 1 person already took advantage. So there's actually 4 more slots available for the VIP for the rest of the 2026, 71% off. If you can't find this link on my description, just please send me a text message and I'll send you the link directly for this. All right, so now let's get straight into the play. So the first thing I like to look at is the back-to-back. So today there's actually 3 teams that are playing back-to-back, which is Chicago, Miami, and then the Spurs. So Orlando does have a 1 day rest advantage. However, on this side it says even because these 2 teams played each other yesterday and they're playing each other again today. So that's the reason it says there is no rest advantage, but they just keep in mind that they both played yesterday. Now, the second thing I like to look at is called the SharpEdge tool. Inside that tool, there's something called the line move tool. And you can see right here, this just gives you what the line is doing, meaning what the books are doing. So right here in this case, it's saying the Heat started as an underdog and now they're currently favorite. So that actually line moved 6 points. So it's telling you to start looking at the Heat at a +1.5. One thing I will quickly tell you is that the Bulls did beat the Heat and they played yesterday. And no matter what sport it is, it's extremely difficult for the team to go back to back and win twice. So that's just historically across many sports. It's very difficult for one team to beat the other team twice in a row, like 1 day and then the next day again. So that just already gives a favor to the Heat, and the Heat are at home. I'm not taking that play, but I'm just giving you pretty much historical facts. Now, the one of them that I do like is the Bulls and the Heat. I'm not going to tell you exactly how I'm playing this one, but I will give you the exact play. What I'm taking is going to be a same game parlay. These are just information that I'm throwing out right now. So the Bulls did start at a 242. Now they're currently at a 236. Actually, we took the under and they didn't hit very easily. We barely covered it by half a point. So they hit right at that 238 number or whatever it was. One of the ones that I am looking at today is the Bulls and the Heat. They started at a 242 and they went down to a 236. So the line, again, they played each other, so they're tired. They didn't travel, but they played yesterday. And the line is dropping 6 points. Even though 82% of the betting, 85% of the money is coming in on the over, the line is dropping. I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but take a screenshot if you want. These are just where the lines are going. Okay. And again, if you want access to this tool, go to the link in the description. It's 2 weeks for free, and you get the line move tool and the SharpEdge tool. It's actually within the same SharpEdge tool. All right, next thing I like to look at is the projections. One crazy thing is that I noticed yesterday is that these projections were actually very, very close to what the actual end of the game was. So for example, the Bulls was 118, I think, and the Heat was 118. So then the Heat actually hit exactly 118. So I looked across like a couple of games, and these projections were super close. I have not paid attention to every single day, but just it stood out yesterday because the projections were so close to the actual end score. Anyways, besides the point, this is Celtics are supposed to win. These are just projections. Pistons are supposed to win. The Heat is supposed to win by 2. Raptors are supposed to win here by 13. The Kings are supposed to win by 4. Spurs are supposed to win by 5. Now remember, keep in mind, that's why it's important to know the Spurs played yesterday. The Magic are rested, yet the Magic traveled. Then we got the Knicks to win by 2, the Clippers to win by 2. These are not my final plays, by the way. This is just projections. Cavaliers to win by 2, and then the Thunder to win by 4. Now, once I have all that information, I start kind of putting my, stacking one thing on top of another. So one thing I did like I mentioned, was the Bulls and the Heat. They played yesterday. They went on the under, and they're tired. Plus, they have a bunch of injuries. So I am looking very heavily on the under on that game. But now let me give you the exact play that I'm going with. It's going to be a 2-leg parlay within the same game of the Thunder and the Nuggets. I'm going to give you all the reasoning why I believe that this is going to win. But there is one little contradiction that I don't like, and I'll explain that and why I think the injuries actually overcome that trend. All right, so if you do the math right here, it's 116 and 112. That's 228. The line did start at a 227, and it went down to a 224. So that's actually a 3-point line move. Even though 81% of the bets and 81% of the money is coming in on the over, the line is dropping 4 points. Now, here's one of the trends that I mentioned. The Nuggets do cover the spread 6 out of the last 10 games, and the Thunder actually don't cover the spreads 6 out of the last 10 games. Now, when they played each other, the Nuggets do cover the spread 7 out of the last 10 games. Again, that goes back to last season, so that stat is not as powerful as all the other stuff. Now, here's the very contradicting thing that I'm talking about is the trend here is 73%. So the Nuggets go on the over for 11 out of the last 15 games versus top 10 scoring defenses. However, that does not cover the fact that there's a bunch of injuries. Check this out. On this side, they got 4 people that are out. On this side, they got 3 people that are out. This guy's important. He's actually questionable. This guy's probable, and this guy's probable. Whenever it does have the little green check marks, more than likely they're going to play. However, Jokic actually came off of an injury. I think he played like 2 games ago, and he's still questionable, meaning that he's not 100%. So this guy's probable, this guy's probable. More than likely they're going to play because the line is showing that they're going to play, and it's showing the little green check marks. However, everything else right here, there's still a bunch of injuries, like especially Gordon. He's one of their main starters, and he's out. Now I'm actually explaining 2 plays in one because it's going to be a parlay. So just understand that it's going to be the same game parlay. Now, because of all these injuries, that's why I said that it kind of negates the over trend for the Nuggets, because that does not count for that, the team is fully healthy. Now with Brown right here being doubtful and Gordon being out, and then Cam Johnson also being out, and also, like I mentioned, the injuries with Jokic, that he's actually just back. So basically the sharp money is coming in heavily on the under, just like I showed here. That's the reason it brought, even though there's 80 very high money coming in, the line is still dropping. So the first leg of this is going to be the under on the Nuggets and the Thunder because of all the injuries and because the line is dropping. I'm also going to give you the second leg. I'm going to actually show you the exact slip so you can see my exact numbers that I'm going with. And it's actually, like I said, it's going to be in the same game. So right here, we're looking at the Thunder supposed to win by 4. That's the projections. The line started at a 4.5. They went to a 5.5. So the line is shifting in their favor of OKC. The point, this is just a little side note, the point differential, meaning how many more points the Thunder score over the Nuggets, just in general against every other team, they outscore them by 13 points per game. They're actually one of the best teams in the NBA right now. Now, if we go to these expert insights, in the last 34 games, they've hit at a 70% hit rate whenever they're favorites. So today they're actually favorites, like I mentioned, by 5.5 points. And whenever that happens, they're hitting at a 70% hit rate. One of the things to note also is that they are missing Caruso and Williams, but overall they have excellent defense. And like I said, they hit it at a 70% hit rate, and the line moved in their favor. So also on this side, Jokic can't do it alone. Even though if he's playing, he cannot carry the team by himself without Gordon and Braun and Johnson. Now, for all the haters and all that stuff, I'm going to make this very clear. If you don't want these lines, then you can switch them out, whatever you want to do. There's people always talking crap about minus 300s and minus 400s and stuff like that. This is literally not that. If you go over here, this is showing you the DraftKings has it at a minus 129. Onyx Odds has it at minus 129. It's not my fault if you don't have access to these alternate lines. This is what I'm able to get it at, and that's what I'm showing. So if you're not able to get these lines, then go find something else. Go find another capper, whatever you need to do. But this is what I'm going with. I'm going with the Thunder and the under 235.5. So for me today, I'm going with the Thunder on the money line, and I'm taking the Thunder and the Nuggets on the under 235.5. If I parlay both of those together, I'm showing you very clearly that in DraftKings, you can get that for minus 129. I think they charge a little bit extra juice because it's in a same game parlay. But if that was not a same game parlay, this is the odds you would be getting at a minus 129. If you want to say negative comments, that's cool. Whatever you need to do. But if you're disrespecting, I'm going to block you. Have a great day. Thank you so much. We crossed over 3,500 subscribers. Let's get to 4,000. Oh, by the way, one last thing before I go. I did throw out an NFL pick already this morning. I already chose the winner that I'm going to go with for the NFL. That's going to be inside the VIP. So if you want that play, you can check us out for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. Or if you want the rest of the year, like I said, you can do a 71% off for the next 4 people. I actually threw it out there this morning. Somebody already took advantage of that. So there's 4 more slots available for that. If you want access to that, and I will throw that pick out for free later this week. But if you want access to it now so you can get the better odds, then send me a text message here. Or go to the link in the description and choose the VIP package that you want. Thank you so much. Let's have a great day.